The day is May 2nd, and we're here again in a high school gym in Washoe County with...
Teresa Benitez Thompson.
Who are you, my friend, and why are you on Next NV today?
So I'm a candidate in Nevada's Congressional District 2, and I'm here because I think you wanted to talk up. So what am I committed to? I think that's what you wanted to ask me next. What am I committed to? What do I want to do? So
These are great questions.
I want to make sure that we are protecting our communities through Nevada's Congressional District 2. And this administration has been delivering us blow after blow. They've pulled out over $100 million in grants that go to things like emergency services, that support our food programs, our tribal programs. Now there's a proposed budget by this administration for 2027 that completely guts things that are important to us. There's severe cuts in social services. There's cuts in rearranging the mission of the U.S. Forest Service.
There's cuts in NPR. That's where I got my rural stories, was National Public Radio did stories in rural Nevada.
The fabric of our community, the spirits of our community are about helping each other in Northern Nevada. We're about neighbors to neighbors and supporting each other. But we can't do that if all of our federal tax dollars are being taken away from us in D.C. and not being reinvested in our own community.
Yes.
That, to me, is one of the most offensive forms of federal overreach that there is.
Yeah, that is 100% true. But how do you feel you'd bring a new vision or what's next to CD2 yourself? Do you think it takes that personal touch, or is the gang of 600 over there? What could you do in DC that would really shake things up? Or is it just we need more eyes on CD2? The cuts that we're cutting,
so first and
cut
foremost,
us, right?
Yeah, first and foremost, it's about being responsive to the community from incline to Wendover and being full-throated in our advocacy for our own backyard. And what we've seen from our last congressman was full-throated advocacy for the administration and their policies, not for our needs in our own backyard. That's where we have to focus, because whether you're a Democrat or you're a Republican, your local governments, your local nonprofits, your local county budgets, your school district budgets can't afford to be gutted with federal support. We just can't afford that in Nevada. We need people who are going to advocate for our needs in DC. That's what I intend to do.
I love that. The now of Nevada is kind of some of the same, but changing. We're shaking off our gaming dependency, but we still have a lot of mining going on.
Yeah.
The industries that are coming here, though, seem to be high tech or sort of on the edge of what's next. Is that truly what's next for Nevada, or do you think maybe data centers are a flash in the pan? Or what should Nevada's economy look like next, and what should we focus on next?
No, that's an important question, because as we look at unemployment numbers through CD2, we see counties like Churchill County that actually have one of the highest enrollment rates of Medicaid throughout CD2.
Wow.
We also see counties with very high unemployment rates. So the job creation, the ability to make sure that people are gainfully employed and working so that they're not dependent on a social safety net is really important. So what does that mean? That means you talk to everyone all the time about those needs, and that you're willing to consider what the best deal is for Congressional District 2. You can't hold your nose at anything, but you have to be able to come in and say, here is what the community needs, and then negotiate a really good deal. I did some of that in the legislature. I have some of that experience in there, you know, and so that's what I intend to do as a congresswoman.
I love that. And then, you know, CD2 is a broad region, like you said, from Incline Village to West Wendover.
Yes.
And all things in between. But sometimes the economic thing that part of CD2 needs is that new mine. Winnemucca feels like Thacker Pass needed to be developed because Lithium Americas came in and said, we're going to spend the big bucks that nobody else has in 20 years in your area. Do we think it's just one more big mine after one more big mine, or is there sort of a meta theme you want to see sort of take over Nevada?
It's got to be about diversity in our economy and the ability for there not just to be us in Nevada living and dying by one industry, because we've done that before, especially Northern Nevada. And when we saw in the 2000s that gaming was not going to be growing like it was in Southern Nevada, that we weren't going to be having these multi-million-dollar investments in new casinos like we were seeing in Las Vegas, we said, we have to have a diversified economy. We need lots of different kinds of industries and different kinds of jobs, because otherwise we are absolutely dependent on that cyclical nature of one industry, right? And we've been there before. We've lived in the state for a long time. So if when the economy is doing well and mining's doing well, our towns are doing well. And then when the economy isn't doing well, then our towns won't be doing well. We need more diversity. So I don't think it's just about one industry. It really is, what can we do to incentivize different kinds of jobs throughout the area?
Excellent. Well,
All right.
as a
Thank you for having me. I got to get to Carson City.
Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for being on Next MV.